welcome to our kitchen. We are excited to really get started and to show you some of our favorite cooking preparations and techniques. Before we really dive into the specifics, we wanted to give a few general principles that will help ensure that you have great chicken every time you cook it. So first and foremost, make sure that you give yourself enough time to let it thaw completely so that you're starting with a really even temperature. Second is to make sure that you salt the meat the night before. This will give the salt time to really penetrate into the proteins evenly, which again will help you have a more moist and flavorful bird. Third is to make sure that you get it up to room temperature. So for a chicken, you'll probably want to bring it out of the fridge about an hour or two before you plan to cook it, because that will again allow it to cook really evenly. If you go straight from the fridge into the oven, it will actually cook pretty unevenly, and that breast meat will probably dry out before the thigh actually has time to cook all the way through. So make sure you get it out at room temp. The next tip is to make sure that your oven or your grill is really preheated and hot before you actually go to put that chicken in. Again, you don't want it to come up to temp with the chicken already in there. That's going to throw off how your chicken is going to actually finish. Next, you want to really think about patting the chicken dry as you go to cook it, because otherwise it will actually kind of steam. If you dry it with a paper towel or something in advance, it will give you that nice, dry, crisp, crackly skin. In order to check for doneness, for chicken, you want it to turn from a pink to more of an opaque color, but to still be juicy. So the easiest way to test for that is to take a sharp knife and to actually just prick right in between that leg and thigh joint, and if the juices run clear, then that chicken is done. So then once you take it out, the final tip is to give it time to rest. For a chicken, probably about 10 minutes is a good amount of rest time, because once you pull it out of the oven, it's still cooking just a little bit with some of that residual heat that's trapped in the meat, and you want it to really keep all those juices in. I'm sure many of us have had that experience of pulling out that Thanksgiving turkey and just diving right in to carve it, and you notice all those beautiful juices all over the cutting board. We want to avoid that situation. Give the meat time to rest, so that way you can really have that juicy, moist, flavorful bird. All right, so we are gonna go ahead and turn it over to Steve, who is going to show us how to part a chicken.